So we took the car to the dyno at Mike Post's shop and came back with the dyno sheet claiming 934 horsepower. 934 real horsepower, 778 foot-pounds of torque. So I think mission accomplished. There was a couple of things that I really wanted to make sure with the car. Fueling was good. I wanted to make sure where it peaked horsepower, because I was really thinking it should peak horsepower higher than it had previously with the TI, and it did. It moved up the horsepower peak about 500 RPM. And I was double checking my predictions, right? I had posted previously I thought the car could make 900 wheel horsepower based on fuel flow, and there we have it, 934. So I'm happy all the way around. I think it's fantastic. I am going to show the data log that I have for this car here, just so that we're all aware, everybody's on the same page. If you guys have questions about the dyno runs, the car setup, the data logs, whatever, post it here, and I'll try to respond to those. I try to respond to as many as I can. So certainly let me know what you guys think. Let me know if there's other cars out there I should be looking at, or other setups I should be looking at. I don't have any plans to make big adjustments to this car, but I will certainly continue to tweak here and there and see what can be done with it. Looking at the data log here, if I snap over to 6,500 RPMs, that's pretty close. 60, well, it's not quite there, but there we go, 6513. That's roughly where it peaked power. Looking at this dyno graph, this top line, the green is TPS, throttle position. The red line here is RPM. Blue line is boost, and the white is fuel flow. Now you'll notice that somewhere before this peak power, somewhere at the 6,000 to 6,200 RPM mark, the RPM and boost lines start to separate a little bit, and that's where belt slip is starting to take over. Turning this YSi with this much boost in the small 2.7 inch pulley that I have on it, it's just not ideal. It's known that on these setups you get some belt slip there. I wish it was less, but this is what I have right now. I think that without belt slip, I would have seen another 1.5 to 2 pounds of boost at peak power. It probably would have picked up power, maybe made a little more, maybe 950, I don't know, but it made 934, and I'm ecstatic about that. If I snap back over to about 6,500, you can see that the fuel flow follows boost pretty nicely. Right there, 1,115 pounds per hour of fuel flow, which again is, what I was using to predict that I'd be at 900. I had previously made a dyno pull with 765 horsepower, and I think that at peak horsepower I was using like 925 pounds an hour. I'd have to go back and check, but I just did some quick math from the fuel flow to the horsepower it put out and used that to extrapolate out to what I thought it should make with the new setup. I wasn't 100% certain though, because I knew that the peak RPM was hopefully going to change, and it did. So just verifying it on this graph, I'm using considerably more fuel. I'm making considerably more power. I'm pretty happy with that. No complaints one way or another. There is one other thing that happened here that I've got shown in purple over here. This is the main rev limiter. I have the rev limiter set at 7,200 in the Holly, but the Holly tries to make sure that you never go over the 7,200. So right at 7,000 RPM, the limiter starts to kick in. You can see that beyond that, you could just throw away the rest of that data. So right when it kicks in, I was at, in fact, if I just back up one notch, I was at 27.5 pounds of boost at 69.50. Now, beyond that, I know it says that I saw 28 pounds of boost, but it was after the rev limiter kicked in. It's garbage data up there. But even so, this thing saw about 25 pounds of boost at peak horsepower and continued climbing to about 27.5. I do think there's potential that it could make more, but that's for another day. Everything else went well on the dyno, no complaints. Mike Post is great to work with. Super happy to have his help. The car is magical, man. It puts a smile on your face every time. I can't believe that I'm out there driving around in a Foxbody with 900 plus horsepower and the great sound of the Windsor. So that's pretty much all I have. If you have any questions, comments, whatever, put them down in the comments. Share other cars. Let me know what's going on, and have a great day. Thanks. Oh, well, there's an old Chevy truck here with a big ass tire on it. That thing's awesome. I like that thing a lot.